Hello and welcome to another Quick Hit video. I'm Matt Johnson. This time we're going to take a look at 3 tips and tricks to help you get the most out of the Appraise-It Flood Maps program. It's going to include getting the most accurate address location, manually entering GPS coordinates, and when are you charged for a lookup. So let's start at the beginning, getting the most accurate address location. The Appraise-It Flood Maps program does have a geolocating service, and geolocating, if you don't know, is where you take the street address from the appraisal and then you convert it into longitude and latitude so it can be placed on a map. It does have that service built into it, but it doesn't work quite as well as the Appraise-It location map or the Appraise-It street map service does. So what we recommend you guys do is first run the Appraise-It street maps program and create your location map, because you're going to have a location map in every appraisal anyway. So go ahead and get that out of the way first. Then you can run the Appraise-It flood maps program later on or right afterwards. It doesn't really matter, because your location information from the street maps program will be saved in the appraisal report. And even if you move around your address locator in the street maps program, that's the longitude and latitude that'll be saved in the report for you. So when you're ready to do your flood maps and you come up here to services and select Appraise-It flood maps, it will already be in the appraisal for you. So that's why the little geocode button here is ghosted out, because it doesn't need to do it. Now you have one other option, which is in order to get a more precise location, the other option you have is to manually enter the GPS coordinates. And you can get these either from a GPS app on your phone, or you can get them from like a handheld Garmin, and even some automobiles, built-in GPS systems will let you get it. All you have to do is drive to that location, and then usually you just tap your little icon on the screen and it'll give you your longitude and latitude. And what you're going to want is the longitude and latitude displayed to you in decimal format, not in degrees, minutes, and seconds, but in decimal format. And then you can enter that information here, and that will give you an exact location. But since we've already moved all that stuff around and gotten the proper spotting with the Appraise-It street maps program, all we have to do here is click Get Map. And that is going to bring us to our final tip, because see, very quickly we went over the first two. So our final tip is, when are you charged for a lookup? And this does confuse quite a few people. If you'll look down here in the lower right-hand corner of the Flood Maps program, it will say that when all of your lookups expire, you can somewhat disregard that, because as long as you're on the subscription plan, this date doesn't really matter. The number that you're going to want to take a look at, though, is how many lookups you have remaining. So right now I have 8 lookups remaining. And this is what you're going to look at to see when you're actually charged for a map. Okay, so on the first screen is my edit map, and this is where I can move the arrow around if I need to. Now, since I've already done this in the Appraise-It street maps program, I shouldn't have to move this around, but I can if I want to. So if I wanted to respot it maybe slightly down the street right here, and then when I do that, I'm going to need to click on the zoom center map, because that's going to respot it. And then I can click Get Flood Data, and that's the key. Whenever you grab, you'll notice there's no flood data on this map. Whenever you get flood data, that is when you're charged for a lookup. So watch this number. I've got an 8 there. Click on Get Flood Data, and there we go. Now you'll see that remaining, I have 7 lookups. And here I can move around my label, but I can't move the spotting around, because as soon as I move this spot, I'm going to have to download more or download updated flood map information. So if I need to move it, I can hit back and I can respot it. Once again, hit zoom center. But as soon as I do it and I click on Get Flood Data, I'm going to be charged another flood lookup. So remember, whenever you download updated flood information, that is when you're charged for a lookup.